Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Index Office Hours. Today is the 3rd of June, and this is Index Office Hours 210. Thank you all for joining. The agenda is in the chat. For all of you who are new to Index Office Hours, this is the town square where graph ecosystem participants come together and discuss the most important and relevant topics for indexes. You know what I'm going to say next? This is a conversation and we do love participation. Today will be a Network Watch segment or call, so please do get involved in today's conversation. We do love to hear participation from everyone. So if you have any challenges with your microphone, do let me know and I'll get that sorted for you. As a reminder, this session is going to be recorded and posted onto public channels like YouTube. So if you are concerned about privacy, please bear that in mind. And with that, let's get into today's agenda. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over straight to Carlos for our regularly scheduled repo watch section.
Hello, everyone again. This week, we do have a few releases. I hope Matt is around because we have a new patch version for Nitro, and this one is more exciting. It basically implements sharding. It allows you to basically split the database through block ranges and specify an URL and endpoint for different block ranges of the database, which is a bit handy because it was getting very big. Red also has a new patch version, 1.4.7. This one, if you're running it on Optimism stack, it has critical bug fixes, so you need to upgrade as soon as possible. And we have two consensus layer client releases, a new minor version for Teco with optimizations and some bug fixes. And sorry, I said two, but it's just one, Teco. And we have a new Firehose Ethereum release, version 2.11.11, which brings some memory optimizations. So if you're running it, you probably want to update soon. On the graph stack, there's been Indexer Tap Agent and Indexer Service releases. They do minor updates, dependency updates, and an update to the tap aggregator endpoint configuration. And finally, on the Launchpad stack, there has been no stable releases this week yet. Some updated version shards for the new Nitro release will be coming in soon. And that's all for this week.
Alrighty. There are a few comments in the chat. Carlos, do you want to check them out? And yeah, in the meantime, sorry, go ahead.
I'm not going to cover them now.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Cool. And then, yeah, Juan, whenever you're ready.
I'm ready. Sorry about that. Okay, getting to Protocol Watch. This is going to be a quick one. We don't have anything to cover in forum governance. We do have something to cover in forum research, which is mainly, given that it's the beginning of the month, it's the core dev updates. That includes updates for Semiotic, Pinax, Wonderland, GraphOps, Edge and Nodes, Streaming Fast, and Geo. Again, those are in and of themselves pretty lengthy, so they're linked in the agenda if anyone's interested in them. Then we have the contracts repository updates, which is essentially the same as it's been. Some Graph Horizon and Subgraph Service PR updates, some updates to the indexing agreement implementation PR, a few other PRs that should not be merged and are closed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There are no updates for the new subgraphs either. So we're good to go on that front. I see Kate is here, so should I hand over to you for Project Watch?
Hi, yes, sure thing. Hi, everybody. I haven't been here for a few weeks. I was traveling. I hope everybody's doing well. So we are still at a similar point as some of the previous updates that I shared. We are working through our POI investigations. I'm hoping to have them ready in the next few weeks for 𝗨𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗧 and 𝗨𝗂𝗲. But I do have a request for the indexer community, and I'll share more specifics in writing in this chat and also in the channel. But if there are anybody out there who is running a 𝗨𝗂𝗧 node currently, we would like to collect some additional data points for our investigation. And so we'd want to see if any indexers in the community that are currently running a 𝗨𝗂𝗧 node would be willing to sync our testnet subgraphs, run a POI script, share the POI results with us, and fill out a short form that basically gives us information on what client you use, what setup you use, what graph node version, and things like that. And we can obviously compensate you with a bounty, a small bounty for those tasks. So I will, like I said, write that out. Also know, and it's Ethereum 𝗨𝗂𝗧, 𝗨𝗂𝗧 as well. Thank you, Slim. Feel free to chime in. Oh, awesome. Great. I'll follow up with you guys. I'll follow up in the channel, and we can coordinate there as well. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's what we're looking for at the moment, and I think that will be able to help us get a wider picture of what's going on there. Slim, did you have anything else that you wanted to add there? Oh, and I also do want to note for payment for a bounty with us, we do have to do a KYC. So if you're not already affiliated with InfraDAO, that is something I know some folks don't like to do that. So just want to note that before you get in there. Additionally, we're working on testing for Berachain. And that's where we're at the moment. Like I said, I'll follow up with the details in writing so you don't have to hold that in your brain. Thank you.
I see Slim Chance is typing, so maybe he wants to add a bit more context. Nothing from my end. I'll be coming back with a lot of exciting updates in the coming weeks. Amazing, cool. Well, yeah, thank you all for your sections there. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, as Kate mentioned, you know where to look out for her message. Yeah, it seems like some people here are running 𝗨𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗧 and are kindly offering to help out. So that's good to hear. Okay, now we are going to move on to Network Watch. So this is the recurring segment that we have here at IOH, where we talk about problematic subgraphs in the network and just have a general discussion, open discussion about what we can do as indexers to try and improve the network and make it more reliable, more usable for the consumers that we have using the service. And so I believe to start off the conversation, there's one subgraph that Mitch has highlighted, which, yeah, Mitch, if you're able to chat to that, that'd be awesome, and then maybe that can kick off a larger conversation, and we can go from there.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay, great, awesome. Yeah, there's just one subgraph that this month was a bit problematic, which is much better than other subgraphs that have been causing problems in previous months. But yeah, just this one. It has a lot of queries, but it doesn't have any signal. I've asked the user if they can signal it, and they haven't yet replied to me. So, but they were complaining about it earlier. So, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Any thoughts on this subgraph? I haven't checked in the Explorer, so I'm curious. Oh, awesome, amazing. Thanks for posting, Jim. Yeah, let's have a look who's indexing it. Anyone in the chat right now? Let's see if we can try to. Oh, just the upgrade indexer. Okay. Sync. We'll sync and allocate if possible. Okay, amazing, awesome. And then yeah, Penny's posting the graphs here link there as well. Amazing. Just get some extra information there on that subgraph. Cool. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for posting there, and yeah, as Marc-Andre is doing. If anyone else wants to have a look at the subgraph, it's right there as well. We don't have same in it. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, have a look, and if anyone is keen on that subgraph, have a look and yeah, see if it's of interest. Okay, cool. Well, the network watch segment is open. I would like to, create space and have a discussion. Oh, sorry, forgot. Sorry, forget it. Sorry. Okay. Oh, okay. I guess you're not on say. Who is on say here in this chat? I'm curious. Chain is for now. Yeah, it's a chain that exists. It's an L1 if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, yeah. No one here on say. Interesting. Yeah, it's an L1 if I, oh yeah, go ahead. Good
That's
question,
actually a
folks.
pretty good question because I just had a call earlier this week on creating some dashboards for each individual network, and so that might come pretty soon. But we don't have any at this moment. We do have access to some data, but we don't have any public dashboards. So we would love to make that available to the community, though. I think that is a great way to also inform indexes on which networks there is a competitive opening, and that is how the crypto dynamics work, right? Where you can find an opening to or a niche where you can serve data, and if you don't have enough information, those dynamic marketplaces don't work as intended. So we have always wanted to give more data to the community, and now I think we are like exploring yeah, giving some more network specific data. So
That's awesome to hear, Stem. I know you said you haven't got any public dashboards, but if you could just dig up that data there and maybe share a couple of numbers with the indexers now, that would be very interesting to discuss if that's something you have access to readily.
yeah, I can probably find them and have them ready for the next IOH. So if I can make it to the next IOH, so I'll have them then. So
Amazing, sounds good. That's awesome. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
cool. Yeah, no. Thank you.
Awesome. As a question here from Indexer Rewards wouldn't be active though, right? So we can't earn query fees. Kate, do you have any visibility on that?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time? I was just sharing the text about that in the channel. Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, sure. Jem is just asking about say and network Indexer Rewards, if you have any visibility on that with that network.
For say, I not at the moment. That it's not on our radar at the moment. That I'm aware of for say mainnet. But I can double check into that. As everyone knows, there's been some changes to how we've been evaluating chains and moving chains through our process, but say isn't on my current list.
Got it. So yeah, we'll just wait to hear back from Kate on that. Maybe Kate, if you want to post in the Indexers channel, that would be useful for people to check out. Maybe Gemma, you can just monitor that chat there if that's best for communication. And Mark Andrew says, I will sometimes support networks that don't have rewards, but only if they have enough query volume. Say doesn't appear to generate enough volume. Based on what you're looking at, Mark Andre, what kind of volume is State producing? I'm curious to see what you're looking at on your side.
Well, I don't have a precise figure, but something in the order of 100,000 a day or more.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And for reference, what kind of, I'm just curious, I mean, I know you're quite a large indexer, but for you, like what is your threshold for which it becomes interesting?
And it also depends of the complexity of the blockchain. I mean, if it's very easy to run a node, that's the threshold could be a bit lower. But there's still some upfront time investment to support the node. So if I see that there will be maybe at top 10 GRT per day of queries, well, that's probably not going to be worth the effort.
Got it. Makes sense. And Jem has just said, I can see seven. I can see 7 subgraphs on the same mainnet with queries. Total daily query fees around 40 GRT, which is, yeah, interesting. Yeah, appreciate you sharing that, Gemma. It's always tricky with data. Where are you getting the data from for the dashboards that you're looking at, Gemma? QoS subgraph. Got it. Makes sense. Vince, you said they came from Cosmos. I'm wondering if it's still sub-millisecond block time on Cosmos. What they got? What from Cosmos? The subgraph. I'm confused. Oh, okay. Interesting. Seems like Mark Andre's done some digging and said only $150 a month network wide, so can't expect much. We can't expect wide support either. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, of course, that would be a lot on EVM for sure. I'm actually curious how much volume it is doing now. I have heard of it, but I'm not sure how much volume they're doing in the network. Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out. If only, Gemma, if only GRT were 10. Okay, I'm curious to, as I said, create this space to have a discussion about, like, any particular things that people have experienced while indexing that could be useful for other people to share, as it relates to, like, trying to improve the QoS with the network, and just general thoughts on how we can improve. Also, would love to hear feedback on, like, what specifically we could do with the network watch segment to make it more useful to you guys. So we do surface subgraphs and discuss them and try and share specific problems that people are having with those subgraphs, which seems to be reasonably useful. But what else can we do to try and improve the network watch segment? We'd love to hear perspectives on that as well, and also just general thoughts on how to on topics people would like to discuss. Very curious.
Well, I think this segment is generally very interesting. I think the best way to make the most out of it would be to maybe reserve the segment for subgraphs or that have maybe persistent difficulties. So subgraphs that we already spoke about in the indexer channel, subgraphs that about that we spoke with AgentNode support team before, and that there are recurring problem on them. So bringing them on this forum here could maybe help the indexers to find solutions to handle these, to better handle these difficult subgraphs. I think that's the best way. I mean, if there's a subgraph, the first time I hear about it is in the indexer office hour. I don't think that's maybe the best use of our time. But if we want to talk about some of the base subgraph or Uniswap subgraph that are very difficult, I think we need to improve because there's pressing customer demand for them. I think that would be great if we could talk about them.
Got it. That's pretty good. That's pretty useful to know. So yeah, persistent subgraphs. Are there any in mind that are currently being discussed in the Indexer channel that would like to be brought? We'll think about ones for future episodes, but just today, is there any ones that come to mind as ones that could be interesting, and maybe we could do like a group discussion on that?
Well, first thing that comes to mind is the revert subgraphs in general, basically all of them. There are also several BSC or base subgraphs that are problematic.
Gotcha. Is that the one that you posted there in the chat, Mitch?
That's exactly what it is. He actually just messaged me about it right now. So yeah.
Gotcha. And what's the latest on that there?
Well, according to Revert, it's apparently been 3 weeks now since the subgraph has effectively had usable data. But it's also like a very demanding subgraph.
Yeah,
and indexers haven't been able to keep up with it.
Yeah, so basically what's going on here is that it's a very demanding subgraph. I think they have a base, an equivalent of base that is already being reworked to be more efficient. But what happened on BSC is that they changed the block time from 3 seconds to 1.5 seconds. And now I think that's when indexers started lagging because it takes more than 1.5 seconds to process the revert data. And things are going probably to be worse pretty soon because BSC is considering halving the block time again to 750 milliseconds. So that's, yeah, then we can definitely forget about the subgraph, and throwing more money and more faster hardware will not solve this problem here. And I really tried on OD on this one here and a few others. I have very fast CPUs, a ton of RAM, and yeah, I don't think I'll be able to ever reach chainend.
I think base has something planned as well, do they not, for block times soon? And bringing their block times down, which is going to cause the same problems, because what we're seeing is not only do you have problems with the subgraphs, as in syncing the subgraphs and keeping them at the chain, you have problems with keeping your nodes at the chain head because you've got a lot of RPC load on them. And when the blocks get full, there's a lot more work to be done per block in replaying the transactions. Everybody who's doing anything on base knows that this is a problem and that all of the client teams know about it. Reth have been quite active in trying to find solutions to the problem. The question that comes to mind for me is, we seem to be hitting some sort of ceiling when it comes to solving these problems by throwing hardware at the problem, whether it be faster single core CPUs, more cache, faster NVMEs, RAM disks, whatever you like. We've all tried all kinds of different things. Are we really at some sort of limitation when it comes to subgraphs, the technology, whereby we either have to move on to something else or we need to start aggressively moving towards substreams? I don't know. I'm not au fait with these things to know if that's the answer. But are we hitting some sort of ceiling that's just not going to allow us to serve our customers with subgraphs? That's the thing I'm most interested in right now. No one's talking because I just I just made a inconveniently difficult question, Payne, so nobody has an answer, including myself.
Sorry, I was actually following up on some of the things there, but my mic, for some reason, when I changed it, didn't pick up on what I was saying. I was just basically saying that this is quite profound, and it seems like other people are also on base as well, from the sounds of it, and so this is the perfect venue where we can kind of discuss, how other indexes are. We put the right people in the right. Yeah, for sure, 100%. We'll have a think about who'd be relevant to pull into this conversation for future ones, because this is I mean, Slim's here. If you want to chime in, Slim, on this, and Payne also hopped in, and if you Marc-Andre, I'm sure you have some thoughts as well. How are other indexers navigating this? Because this is quite profound, right?
It's also not, let's just be clear, this ain't new, right? Everybody's aware of this. It's the inconvenient truth that anybody who's been indexing for long enough knows that as soon as you see the letters UNI SWAP in a subgraph, then you kind of like your stomach drops to your boots, right? Whereas those are the customers that we want the most. That's where the business is. It's in these really complex subgraphs. So there's nothing here that's not known already. It's just a challenge that needs to be addressed. So I think the way forward in having a conversation about that is getting the right people in the room that have been thinking about this for some time now. There's lots of opinions out there, many different opinions. It would be great to have them on here to talk about it a bit in a sense that's more practical for us indexers who are we're all DevOps and engineers, and we think in terms of nodes and databases and disks and CPU, and understanding where we're going with this technology in order to address some of these issues would be really valuable, I think.
Amazing. So I can coordinate conversations on this going forward. Any particular people come to mind when we think of folks to bring into the room to have this discussion? Yeah, definitely not a simple topic. I appreciate that. But anyone who can shed light or opinions on this would be amazing. And if there's a list of people who perhaps are all talking about this from different angles, and maybe putting them all in to one conversation for IOH, I would love to hear folks' thoughts on who those people might be, because I can coordinate that and get people to join IOH. So we'll ask groups to join IOH. So would love to.
Yeah, I can speak
Right.
a little bit to it as well. Like there are some very broad discussions and changes to the graph and the strategy. So it's not something that is falling on deaf ears, and there will be a lot more clear messaging, as you probably already see from thegraph.com. There are work done on specialized data services that can service those high performance needs and that are building on top of substreams or auto streaming first type of technologies. So you see, for example, the token API that Pnax is serving right now that can have a high performance token data, and then you have also like other similar type of services that are being explored, and there will be more information on that coming soon once we have more things to share. And but it is still it's important to note that indexes will always be the backbone in the graph network, and we are working on how this can like how we can serve these needs, because subgraphs are still powerful. There's a reason that every single data service provider is adapting or changing the subgraph technology, is that it's super adaptable. It allows anyone with very little coding experience to extract blockchain data, exactly the data they need. And then, as Jim says, though, we do need to target those high performance, high query volume consumers. And it's not falling on deaf ears. There's work being done there. And the soon TM, right, that Matthew is saying. But yeah, I have some things as well to share in the upcoming weeks on changes also on the indexing side. So exciting quarter ahead of us. So, but I'll circle back on that when I have something more concrete, and I don't need to just work around it and not talk directly. So, but yeah, I will be the point of contact for those kind of initiatives going forward. I just recently joined the Graph Foundation in more of a full capacity. I was previously leading InfraDAO, and I have now recently joined and will be spending more of my time on the foundation side as the data services and infrastructure lead in the Graph Foundation. So with that, I'll also be committing my time to making sure indexes are continuing to thrive and continuing to be the backbone of the Graph network. So I was going to give that in a little bit more detail next week and give some more detail on what concrete steps we are taking. But yeah, since it was requested, I think it was just prudent to just jump in and say that it's being heard by the foundation, and we are looking at exactly what we can do both to service these more strategic consumers and what we can do to continue to have a thriving indexer community. So looking forward to share a lot more alpha in the coming weeks, Abel.
Sounds good. I'll coordinate with you, and then we can figure out future iReach episodes and scheduling them. And so yeah, congratulations. That's awesome. I mean, it makes sense. You're already a pretty active member in the Graph ecosystem, so it's great to hear that you've stepped up in that way to support the community even further. That's awesome. It's really, really cool. Some might say slim chance that he'll yes. Geez, Slim 𝗨𝗂𝗂 long Slim, getting a lot of love there in the chat. Slim, that's awesome to see. Yeah, I want to continue the conversation as it relates to any particular thoughts on improving the segment. It sounds like there's a conversation to be had, a larger conversation with a bunch more people, which I will organize. And then I will follow up with Slim on the dashboard data, as well as his new role, and maybe sharing more information about indexing going forward. I think that'd be pretty cool to get on the calendar. And noted as well, Marc-Andre, for what you were saying earlier about a slight amendment to network watch in sense of like trying to bring existing subgraphs that are being spoken about in the indexer channel, and then bringing that to IOH as like as a medium. Mitch, I wonder, like, how many of the subgraphs, if you do review the indexer's channel that we discuss or that you send to me, are ones that are also being discussed in the indexer channel? Is there an overlap if you have a look at that channel often? And would you be open to kind of like figuring out a way that we can bring those conversations to IOH?
Yeah, sure. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but usually how it works is if a user or a customer like needs or is having a specific issue that is not related to the upgrade indexer and it's related to like one of the other indexers in the community, then usually I do share it either directly with the indexer that it is affecting or in the channel there. Yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome. Sounds like Mitch is in the DMs on a regular with Jim, which is great to see. It sounds like there's good communication back and forth, which is awesome. Amazing. Yeah, as I said, like, want to keep the conversation going. I've just seen the comment there, upgraded to fat chance. That's funny. Congrats. Okay, thanks, Vince. Any additional thoughts on anything as it relates to network watch and improving the QoS, as well as like this segment itself? Would love to hear. Yeah, you know me, I'm always looking for feedback. So specifically, if you guys have any thoughts, just as Marc-Andre shared, about how we can improve the segment, I'd love to hear that.
I think one of the things I mentioned, Abel, when we were thinking about this segment many months ago, was like a dashboard that, you could just sort of share every week via screen share or whatever. That shows where which subgraphs are being consumed the most and what performance looks like. An easy way to do that is maybe 𝗨𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗪 has something. I know Indexer Tools from Vincent at Data Nexus has quite extensive data around. You could pick whatever you want, but there's things like individual indexer performance on subgraphs, and then things like max latency, average latency, all that type of stuff. There's a few select things there that would be interesting to look at every week, and maybe sort of show on the screen the top 10 most busy subgraphs, or maybe the top 10 busiest but least performance subgraphs, something like that. But like I said, there's a few options on how you want to get that data. There's some stuff in the Explorer. I know 𝗨𝗂𝗧𝗪 has some stuff. Personally, I use Indexer Tools, but that's more because that's what it is. It's a tool set for indexers, and has more it's more configurable. It sort of allows you to it might drive the conversation when people see which subgraphs are the most popular, or they see anomalies in the performance data. I don't know, just an idea.
Yeah, it's a fantastic idea. And the minute you mentioned it to me, I noted it down and forwarded it to the 𝗨𝗂𝗧𝗪 team. It sounds like 𝗨𝗂𝗧𝗪 has been working on that. did message a while back when we discussed about that. And I was told it was being worked on. But I guess, Pili, if you have any updates on that, in terms of graphs, that would be awesome. Maybe if we could discuss that. If not, we can always circle back and I can follow up later. So yeah, would love to get that built out. As it'd be useful, as you say, like a useful tool, like a guiding force, and a conversation starter, which would be awesome. So yeah, any thoughts there, Pili, or maybe if you want to take this offline, or yeah. Gotcha. Makes sense. Okay, I will. Yeah, I'll have a think about how we can get this built out and have it be like a useful segment in the network watch segment. Because yeah, I definitely agree that it would be quite helpful. Mitch seems to have posted another subgraph, so maybe Mitch, if you want to share some thoughts about that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I've just received a message saying that the upgrade indexer is currently behind on that subgraph, and I just had a look at it, and it seems like there's also no other indexes currently indexing that one.
Gotcha. Any indexers know the subgraph? Also, it'd be great to have the actual link. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that one second.
It looks like I already tried to index it and it's not indexing, which is why I haven't put anything on it.
Interesting. What maybe might be useful to discuss some of the issues that you're facing there, in case there's something that Mitch maybe can chime in on, or maybe someone else could help with. That'd be pretty useful.
I'm just trying to pull some information now.
Awesome. And House and Penax are just mentioning would appreciate higher signal. Mitch, did you reach out to the subgraph creator about signal for this particular subgraph?
Yes, I've asked them to signal some more.
Got it. And have they responded yet, or still TBC?
Still TBC.
Sure. Awesome. Well, hopefully they signal more. What maybe might be useful? Sorry, Jim, do you want to go ahead?
Oh, I'm on. Sorry, my voice activation. I just muted myself.
Okay, got it. Yeah, maybe how if might be useful to share what kind of signal would be interesting enough for you to want to engage with the subgraph. Maybe Mitch can forward that on so that we can kind of one shot this, where if they put that amount of signal, then you'd be interested and kind of get the ball rolling. And then Mark Andre saying, how can we tell who has the right POI if a fair portion is running 0.38 or 0.39? Looks like it's only affecting only subgraphs using a little used feature. If we could have an automated way to generate a list, I don't mind rewinding the 50 or 100 impacting subgraphs. Okay, it seems like that's in conversation in relation to KOI radio. Okay, there's some sort of conversation happening there. Thanks, Hal. Okay, basically a lot of money. The signal, a lot of GRT is the response. Okay, oh, I see. 1K GRT signal will be catching my attention, but that subgraph is only 26 GRT. Okay. Mitch, would it be useful if you could forward that on? 1K GRT, I know it's a bit, but just so they have an idea of like how much they signal, that'd be pretty useful.
Yeah, I've already messaged them, and they've responded. They asked me how much, and I said like minimum 1,000 would be great. So kind of 3,000 or so would be ideal. That's kind of what we usually suggest, about 3,000.
Gotcha. And Mark Andre's put this useful set of numbers in the chat where he says 1K gets you about 1 to 2 indexes, 2K gets you about 3 to 4, 5K 10, 10K 20. So that's pretty useful. If it's hard to sync, then divide by 5. Interesting, useful. Appreciate it. Okay. Any. One second. Let me just quickly grab the app as we're over the thingy. So there you go. That's the link to the plat there. So enjoy. Yeah, we're coming to the final 8 minutes, so we would love to use this as best as possible to have a discussion about anything network works related. I've got a few things that I'm going to follow up with a few people on as it relates to like future discussions in IOH, and then also like future iterations on network work. So I've already got a lot of useful information, but yeah, any additional thoughts would be pretty useful. How saying if certain indexes don't blast subgraphs with millions of GRT / okay, that's a response to the Mark Andre's comment there. Yeah, cool. Yeah, as I said, last 8 minutes, so we'd love to hear perspectives, thoughts as it relates to how we can help each other improve. Mitch, if you have any final subgraphs that you want to share, that would be awesome too. Example, will you allocate to this? Okay, he's just linked to 2 subgraphs there. Is that a question for indexers? How are you posing to everyone? Rhetorical question. Okay, good.
Yeah, how
Sorry.
is giving an example of a subgraph that has a lot of the allocation from maybe just 1 or 2 indexers. So basically, one indexer over allocates, and that disincentivize every other indexers from joining. So the figures I gave, if you put 2K GRT, you'll have 3 to 4 indexers. That holds only if every indexer is acting rationally.
Got it. Yeah, makes sense.
Most are, by the way, but there are a few idiots out there with way too much GRT, and yeah, I just did say that.
Rich idiots.
Ignorant idiots, I think, Mark Andre, to be honest. Have no idea they could be making more and being more effective on the network and helping everybody make more. Pulling no punches today, Abel. Pulling no punches, mate.
We love a bit of drama. But yeah, no. Sometimes it's important to say these things, so and it takes a brave person to do so. So I appreciate that. They might be more interested soon. Slim chance is forever dropping alpha. Maybe you want to share a bit more context, Slim. We appreciate that.
Nothing to comment on right now, but
Okay, Slim changes soon. The alpha and the GitHub repos. Okay, yeah. Slim chance you can't keep teasing us. We've got to make sure that these updates come soon, either next week or the week after. We've got to make this happen. Otherwise, you're going to keep us in suspense. Anyway, so I'll follow up with you, and we'll figure something out.
Looking forward.
Awesome. The chat is blowing up. This is funny. You've got Hal saying, interesting. Okay, we've got final 5 minutes. By the way, how the parts, are they working fine? If anyone's having any issues, just let me know. It should be working fine. But do let me know if anyone runs into any challenges, then we can get that sorted. But we're coming into the final 4 minutes, so if anyone has any thoughts, questions, final regards, would be amazing to hear. I've got a notepad here writing all these notes so that we can implement them for future IOH sessions. So yeah, would love to hear. CPD's typing. Yeah, I mean, we do have something scheduled, but always like keen for topic suggestions. So if anyone has any topic suggestions, would love to hear. Any thoughts, any things that they would like to hear from IOH going forward. Obviously, this forum is supposed to be like maximally relevant for you guys, so would love to hear thoughts if anyone has any. A quick PSA: GraphNode 0.39.1 minor release is out. Nice. Appreciate it, Marco. Appreciate it. That's important. Any particular thing people should be aware of with this new release? It sounds like a minor one. Any breaking changes? If you want to chime in. Migrations, that kind of stuff. No migrations, very small release. Okay. Okay, there seems to be a discussion that I was bumping up. We can't rewind 1500 subgraphs to 5 weeks ago. Oh, what is this in relation to? I want to make sure this gets covered off before we wrap today's conversation.
Yeah, I can describe it quickly. There was a bug in 0.38 and 0.39 that caused a certain portion of the subgraphs to index incorrectly. So the impact is bad POIs and also probably some queries that will return invalid data. So this new release is supposed to fix that, but the release notes are saying that we should be rewinding affected subgraphs, but that's a large ask if we don't know exactly which subgraphs we need to rewind. So we'll need, I think, some help to figure out the strategy here.
Okay. Marco is saying let's take this one offline. So Marco, should we move this conversation to Indexer's channel or DMs, or maybe just share a bit more light so people know where to go?
I think we can just chat about this in the channel, just so that information is shared. This is a little bit hairy, so I don't think we can address this right now, but there's no easy answer for this. We can I can bring up a few topics here that might help, but
got it. That's really useful to know. So it sounds like everything's going to get moved to the channel there, and Marco is going to be there to share some thoughts and see how to navigate it. Appreciate it. Thanks for offering the help there, and hopefully there's some sort of solution that is useful. Okay. Well, we've just come up to the top of the hour, so I want to say a special thank you to each and every one of you for joining today's Index Office Hours. This is great. We were going back and forth discussing, wanted to keep this open so that folks could chime in and we could all collaborate on ideas on how to improve the network, the QoS of the network. We'll continue to report subgraphs. We'll try and get the dashboard built out. I'll follow up with 𝗨𝘀 and try and implement some of the changes that you guys recommended. And yeah, we'll see you again, same time next week for another edition of Index Office Hours. Thanks everyone for joining. Take care. Bye-bye.